Yo, guys, welcome to today's segment on the CEOs Network podcast. And today, a very important topic: other people's money, otherwise, or in other words, known as OPM. So, you know us if you if you're new to the page. My name is Duno, business strategist, podcast host. I'm here with
John Franco, and I am your guy for software development and Amazon technology.
And Salem Pagel, nobody.
Hey, well, look, let's get right into it. We don't want to waste your time today. This is going to be a quick segment. So, other people's money, what is it?
Bank's money, your friend's money, anybody that's not you money. That's OPM.
Let's put it into two categories. Let's put emotional check, physical check.
Right.
A bank is a physical check. When you take money from your friends and family, they're not really investing in your business. They're investing in who?
You.
Exactly. So which one to you guys is more important? Taking emotional checks or taking a physical check?
I take physical every single day.
Take physical. I like an emotional check. You know why?
Why?
Because it comes with real expectations. Let me put it like this. You take $1,000 from Bank of America, right? Don't pay it. What happens?
Collection.
Yeah, but like when? 6 months?
6 months.
Maybe
after,
12
yeah.
months?
Yeah,
Do you
maybe.
really know how to play it out? You take an emotional check. If I take $1,000 from Pepito, don't pay him back. Guess who's at my door?
Your boy Pepito.
My boy Pepito, right? So whichever one you take, you have to know which one has the true expectations.
So, what about, I don't know if this still happens today. Maybe it does, and we just don't know about it. What about the guys that come and bust your kneecaps when you don't pay?
Oh, yeah, 100%,
That's
man. That's
Pepito for
100% real.
That's 100% Pepito for him.
That's not even Pepito. It's Pepito who Pepito sends to go get his money, bro.
Yeah.
Pepito doesn't even get involved, bro. Pepito just goes like, please play.
Play-
He's telling you, please pay.
Plain and simple, build your credit so you don't deal with people like that. Right? Like that's when people are desperate. They gotta work with the people in the corner, and essentially
Or lack of trust. They
they-
just don't trust institutions because they don't understand them.
Nah, well, I think there's a lack of education, obviously, but the
Absolutely.
main reason why people will go to people like that will bust your kneecaps open if you fuck
Wide
up,
open.
it's essentially because you don't have credit, so you don't have relationships with bankers, and the best type of relationship that you can put out, in your name, it's actually a banking relationship.
So,
Right, absolutely.
So how would somebody, what would you say is one of the best methods or one of the best ways, right? Let's say someone is young, right? And then we'll get into someone who's, let's say, 25, and then we'll get into someone who's in their 30s. So first,
yeah.
someone who just turned 18, right? They got their first credit card. So what would you say is the best course of action? Like, I'm not talking typical stuff they can find on YouTube,
Right.
right?
Right.
What's
The
the
real
best course
knowledge.
of action that they can take to start building that credit from day one?
I'm gonna tell you how anybody can build credit. Like today, it don't matter if your credit is bad or good or is new. Like you can literally use this strategy right now to make it happen for yourself. Number one, I'll start with this story. A few years ago, I got into helping people with credit and getting people funded through a very special program that I have. And my success story, or the first success story that I created, was a lady that she is the mom of a friend of mine that used to work for me. And she had like terrible credit. Nobody gave her loans or anything. And I told her 4 services that she needed to sign up. She did it for 9 months, and in 9 months, her credit recovered. Today, she's buying cars, brand new leases. She's getting into her own house and all that stuff, right? Like, so I say these things because there's a backstory to a backstory. I'm not speaking just because I want to speak. So the number one service that anybody has to go out and get right now today is called Tomo. Tomo Card is one of the best systems for you to boost your credit and create credit history if you don't have any history prior to today. Not only you can do that, but you can always go and get, like, let's say a Discover card, which is a secure credit card for most instances when you don't have credit. You can also apply at Capital One for a secure credit card, which it might be $300 to $500. There are rent reporting agencies out there. That's another way of boosting your credit. And not only that, if you go to Experian.com, there's a reporting system that they have where they report all of your T-Mobile, Verizon, all of these accounts to your credit. What happens with credit is this. You need to show that you're making on-time payments. The more on-time payments you add into your portfolio, or into your credit score, the more likely lenders are going to trust you, right? And these are four simple yet very efficient resources that anybody can use. And on top of that, we're going to put a very special link. You're going to put your email in there, and we're going to send you the PDF that instructs you step by step on how you can actually get your credit boosted 50, 100, or even 200 points within 3 to 6 months.
So you guys just heard that from Franco, right? He's literally gave you guys a small snippet, right? Step by step. Obviously, it takes work, because I know a lot of people that most of the time are looking to improve their credit, or that are looking to improve their financial situation. They're looking for quick fixes, right?
Right.
There's no such thing as a quick fix, because let's be honest, right? A quick fix will probably just lead to a bigger problem later
if you don't fix the problem.
Exactly.
Right.
So throwing it to you, Salem, like, what would you say someone who's looking to now, let's say they've killed their credit so far, like,
so they're at a 490.
Terrible situation.
Okay.
Terrible situation.
400.
Awesome. So this is the quickest way and simplest way. And just to give you a little bit of background, I was a general manager at a used car dealership. We had all types of credit, from the freaking 800s all the way to, like, I wouldn't finance you a bicycle. Like, just leave with the scooter that's in the lot type of credit. It's very simple. When you are a 490, right, you have to realize that there's something wrong with you, not there's something wrong with the system. It's just the truth. You don't like to pay people back. It just is what it is. You like to take money and you don't like to pay people back. That's perfectly fine. Now, how do you work with that is that these lending institutions are no longer going to lend you money. So what do you need is a cosigner. Who is a cosigner? Your mom, your father, anybody in your family, anybody around that actually can say, hey, look, I'm going to stick up for you. How do you get a cosigner when you have bad credit? Very simple. The people around you in your circle that do have money, that do have good credit, have to see some type of motion from you. What does that mean? You're actively progressing. You're actively trying. Yeah, you know what? He doesn't like paying people back, but he's not sitting down taking these L's. He's moving forward. He's moving forward. But the quickest way to repair your credit emotionally, like once you're at 490 and there's no other way, you have to find a dream. You have to find some type of dream that the person around you likes, or the influential person around you has money with. So if the man with money has a certain type of dream, you have to align your dream with his dream, and then create obstacles for him to get in those dreams, that the only way for you to improve yourself is by completing those obstacles with his credit or his finances or his network. So pretty much you have a 490, the lending institutions don't trust you, your family doesn't trust you, you got to change who you are within yourself and actually have motion and change from within.
Yeah.
So a scenario I kind of want to bring into play for you guys, right? So, I'm pretty sure you guys, the audience, right, you've heard two different examples, two different variations, right? So here's a scenario. Someone's been, let's say, building their credit for a long time. Then they co-sign somebody,
right,
and that person kills their credit because they co-signed that person, right? And that person's not making the payments whatsoever, right? So that scenario, they want to start a business, right? Because now they want to go out there and start a business, right?
Right.
They've borrowed some money, but it's not enough, right? And obviously, what we're doing here at Funding CEOs, which is one of the companies that we're currently building, which is essentially helping those of you that are looking for business credit, that are looking for business funding, to not just fund your dreams, but to scale your businesses, right? Regardless of what you need it for.
Yeah.
So let's say that person someone else just started to just kill their credit. How would you recommend they get out of that scenario?
Well, that's a scenario very hard to fix unless you have
as quickly as you can. Like whatever. Like, don't let things go into payments. Like, sell the assets. Get out of whatever you have involved with that person as quickly as you can, and as ruthlessly as you can.
It's usually not that easy. So usually, my piece of advice for people thinking about doing something like this, or for future references, here's how it should go down. If you're gonna finance anybody, a car, house, it don't matter. If you're gonna help somebody get finance on something and you're the co-signer, make sure you have 3 to 6 payments up front from that person. Because when things go south, when things go south, now you can use their own money to pay for those bills. Now,
Like a security deposit.
Yeah, it's a security deposit, right? It's your protection. And if you want to make sure you make it to the end with this person without ruining your credit, make sure that you're actually on top of their bank statements and everything that's coming in and out of their accounts. Why? Because it doesn't hurt them the way it hurts you to bust your credit, right? People don't care about what's given to them. People only care about what they have. That's
Absolutely.
directly to them, right? That's essentially the reason why co-signing is not such a good idea, because the person that's co-signing is a responsible person, obviously has a better credit score. But then the person that's the main account holder is a person that, doesn't have track of successfully handling their credit. And at one point, they're going to stop making payments, or they might not manage themselves properly financially to say, oh, I got these payments covered every single month. And that's really the problem. So it's very important that you don't co-sign for somebody unless you have 3 to 6 payments up front from that person. If that person can't do that, then that person can't afford what she or he is looking to get.
Absolutely. I just want to say some quick game that from the car business. And a Jewish man taught me this. So what you do is you get, like, let's say your car payment is like $300, right?
Yeah.
Let's make it simple, like $200 a month, right? You take out a line of credit, right? So let's say like as much credit as you can get. If it's $1,000, if it's $2,000, it's relevant. Let's say you get $1,000 line of credit completely on a card, and then you have a car payment that's $200, right? You pay the car payment with what? The line of credit.
Yeah.
Then when the line of credit comes, the minimum, you pay that every single month. So what happens? That money, the difference left over, you take that money, you usually buy bills, you usually invest it, the separate, and then at the end of the year, once you have the final payment, that usually when you get a new card, the whole year interest there's no interest. So you're using credit to pay for bills. So you're not, let's say out of $200, you only have to pay maybe like what? Like the minimum of the bill was $80, $50, and the bill of the minimum of the bill itself is like another $50. Out of the $200, you're only paying $100.
Right.
You save that. You charge yourself like you would, and then you save it until the end of the year. Once you're at accumulation of credit, boom, you all pay it off at one go.
Yeah.
So you use credit to pay with credit, and everybody can get a $1,000 credit line of credit. Most people start off with $300.
Yeah.
But do the same thing. The same premise that I told you with a $300 card, but do it in a micro. Have something that you can pay $50 for with a $300 line of credit. So now you already have what 2, 3, 4 months already paid for. So you don't even have to worry about those payments coming in.
Yeah.
That's just quick game.
So, on top of what you guys are saying, I think one of the biggest issues when it comes to credit nowadays is, yes, there's these institutions that are willing to give it out, but I think they're also taking advantage of people not having that financial literacy, right? So it's like you'll have people that keep taking on credit cards, they keep taking on debt, thinking it's gonna
Which credit cards, which institutions?
Right? Of course, it depends, right? 100% depends on them, because I'm not gonna name because I don't really know them, but I've seen it happen to people where it's like, damn, now I'm $50,000 in debt. Now I'm
quickly,
and it's just, it stacks up, and you're trying to fix that situation, but it keeps stacking up.
The problem with credit is that when you start getting decent amounts of credit cards or accounts like under your credit, what happens is that everything seems to be easy for you, right? And you get into the wrong debt, and now you're upside down. That happens a lot, right? And that's the reason why a lot of people hurt their credits, because using credit is a responsibility thing, right? It's not like, oh, you know what? Let me take $50,000 and just forget that I got to make payments. At one point,
which is the worst type of debt to have? If it's car, if it's house, if it's personal loan, if it's business loan?
It's definitely a car. I think cars, they have a high depreciation in comparison to real estate and other industries.
I mean, like, what do you think the banks look at as the worst type? I think anything luxury, because they say you're supposed to have the money for that.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to pay your mortgage, right?
Buying a fancy car takes a lot more work than buying, let's say, a Toyota at a dealer. And there's a reason to that, right? It's because of depreciation. It's because you're supposed to afford it. It's because of insurance and liability. It's a shit ton of things, right? And credit as a whole, it's a liability game. Your credit score is a reflection of how much of a liability you are to the bank. So when we speak about what are the best ways of building credit, well, when you get a credit card, there is really nothing in the middle of you and the bank other than your social security number that's attached to your credit score. So they only go after your credit score if you default. Now, when you get a car, they can get a car. When you get a house, they can get a house. So there are things and loopholes, right? And not having a perfect score to get a car and a house is much more real than trying to get a $100,000 credit card when you have a 650 score. But with a 650, you can get a car and you can get a house.
You absolutely can.
Right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to let's get large credit cards, under your name, right? It's not the easiest thing because there is DTI in consideration. There is income. There is, how much utilization you're using on the credit. So there are many moving parts that if you don't know how to balance these three things simultaneously, you're never really going to get the right credit cards.
I'm actually happy that we brought up credit because there's going to be an interesting segment that me and Charlie are going to do. We're going to film everything from beginning to end of me starting with my credit, with my cash flow, what I have, applying for the right credit cards, applying for the right form of credit, and then at the end is me purchasing a McLaren, completely financed.
I like that challenge.
From beginning to end, we're gonna record everything so you guys can see if it can do it for me. But the difference is between me and you is that I'm cash flow positive. I'm not really like a on papers type of guy. But for you guys, you say, man, if he can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna record the whole entire process up until we get the card.
And listen, to attest to that, not only I want you guys out there to understand that there are ways to access these large credit cards and things that you gotta, put in place to make it happen, but there's obviously mechanisms, knowledge, and systems in place that you can basically access through our team, through the Funding CEOs team, which is to help people like you win big when it comes to acquiring large credit cards and large lines of credit so that you can, fulfill your dreams, start your business, do whatever you need or want. So it's very important to know that, investing in knowledge is more important than trying to cut corners, fucking it up, because when you fuck it up, it's really hard to recover. And that's what happens in credit. A lot of people, they don't get the right education about handling or managing their credit. They fucked up, right? And then they're expecting to recover their credit in a month. They want to get credit repair services
now
and think, and it's now. And it's like,
Fix
in
it
30
now.
days, I want it to be an 800 score, and that's never going to happen.
It doesn't work that
Once
way.
you fuck it up, it's going to stain for a very long time. It's very rare that things are going to come off your credit and that you're going to be able to rebuild that relationship with the bank that you fucked it up, right? So what happens is very simple. For you guys out there, make sure that you're not guessing. Make sure that you're
right.
looking for the right resources and knowledge base for you to make decisions as of which banks to use, which banks are going to help you scale faster when it comes to acquiring larger credit cards, right? Which particular banks report or pull from certain bureaus, because even though there are 3 bureaus, there are banks that only pull from 1 or 2, not always 3.
It's
right?
all a racket.
So it's all a system that you guys have to learn it. And once you learn it, you can scale it and grow it for years to come and acquire very large credit cards later on in the 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year, 5th year. So it's a consistency game, right? Everything in life is about consistency. And credit is one of those things. You got to be consistent about on-time payment. You got to be consistent about the things that you say and do and manage to do with those lines of credit, right? And it's very important to just have the ball game in place before you start acting with your credit.
What's the worst type of credit card a girl can pull out on a date? Where you're like, oh, that girl's credit is
Like terrible.
yeah. What's the worst credit card a girl can pull out?
I believe you can say something like Chime credit.
Something that you don't see a bank to.
Right,
Like,
like-
there's no like branches of
Right.
banks. Yeah.
It's a completely digital bank.
Yeah.
Right? Like those are the worst signs of credit management, but also certain cards from Capital One. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's an entry level bank,
Yeah.
which works with absolutely anybody. So essentially there are certain cards that give you reputation. Some of them, they take it away, right? Capital One, I think it's like plain and simple, very mediocre. However, there are very heavy duty ones, and you can see it by the material. They go from plastic to
Oh yeah,
metal.
you drop it on the floor and the freaking feels like an earthquake, like the
And-
freaking the ground moves and everything.
Yeah. So there's definitely
Like the Apple credit card.
the Apple credit
It's
card.
nice.
It
Not
is
plastic.
nice.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
plastic,
yeah. You know, Apple is Apple. They do everything nice,
Yeah.
right? Like it's just that. But Apple is actually a very good lender for you
Oh,
to,
great lender.
get
know.
credit building up.
You're on a date with a girl, right? Everything's amazing. Girl's a solid 8, not 10, because no one's a 10. Solid 8, right? And she's like one of those girls that's like, I'm on my stuff, I'm on my business, I'm taking you out, right? And she's talking all this good game, and she pulls out a Fufushi Feng Yun credit card. Does that affect you at all, or you're just a man on a mission?
To be honest, I have a pretty good poker face, so I just
As
look
long
at
as
let
it
it
gets
slide.
paid, right?
yeah.
If it's me, I'll tell you. I mean, I won't care for that because what if?
Because you already got your own money, right?
Nah, I got my own money, but what
Exactly.
if that girl has an excellent reputation with that bank,
Exactly.
and that was her first credit card, and she just decided to keep it because
Yeah.
she's humble like that?
Should guys care about a girl's credit?
Absolutely,
You think so?
absolutely.
Because
it's
if you're daddy,
if you're
you'll fix
looking
all
for
that.
something long term, of course.
Listen,
You
listen
think
to
so?
me. Even if you have all the money in the world, like sometimes mixing with the wrong person can actually
course.
lead
Kill
to
that.
So
very
at what
bad
point do you
decisions.
check your girl's credit?
Well, I don't think it would happen like that. It would be, let's say she wants a car, or
Yeah.
let's say y'all been
It's
together
gonna
for a
naturally
decent,
happen,
yeah,
right?
it'll naturally happen because
Yeah.
let's say you've been together for a while, and she's like, oh, she's gonna come to you when she wants to get something, right? So she's
Right.
probably gonna be like, oh, I'm thinking about this car, or I'm thinking
And
about
then you
this
ask her,
and
why
that.
don't you get it yourself?
No, I
Well,
don't think it
it's
would happen
a-
like that.
I think it's a conversation to definitely have with your girl. You get what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
When
Like,
do you bring it up?
I think
Fifth date, months in?
maybe before the first month finishes. Like fuck that, right? Like if I like the girl and I'm like, yo, there's a high chance that this girl might fall into my life the hard way.
Franco, 8 out of 10, right? Everything perfect. You check her credit, 490,
I'll take it.
and 2 people are looking for her.
And two people.
Wait. Are your kneecaps worth that girl?
Nah, I gotta have maybe
Yo,
like
but
3.
everything else, flawless.
What if she has a 490, but she has a banging ass salary?
I could work with that, baby girl.
See, that's the thing
Th-
too.
that's
work
what
with
I'm saying.
But
Like,
she's probably like entitled and like ungrateful.
Nah, you
because
ever
how
seen
you make
those-
all that money and have such bad credit?
you
Well,
can
you ever
fuck it
seen-
up because you're young and
Yeah.
and
that's true,
inexperienced,
yeah.
right?
Because I've
Like,
seen those situations where it's like they have good cash flow, but because their credit is bad, they can't get the things they want. Whether it's like
Yeah.
a car,
And they need someone
or-
else. They need like
Exactly.
a grandma.
Always,
they need like
always,
a uncle.
always.
They need like 100.
that happens
100%.
very often.
And more in our communities.
Because it's not about your cash flow or how much you can repay the bank. It's actually about being organized
Absolutely.
and always paying the bank, right?
That's what they want.
Which is not something that it's very common, let's say, with minorities like the Hispanics, like the blacks, right? With all respect. You have no, for real. Some people might say, oh, he's not black, you know?
Right.
Why he's saying black
Well,
and,
they
you
said
know, in
Dominicans
on
are
video,
black.
right? Like, what the heck?
They say
Listen,
Dominicans are black, so
Listen,
are we
you
black or
can
we
call
not
me
black,
whatever
bro?
you want, right? I don't take that as an insult
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm just human, right?
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
We're all human, regardless of race and ethnicity. However, Hispanics and blacks they suffer a lot of bad credit issues simply because
Where is the
there's
trust
lack
in
of
the
education.
system?
It's a
Why do our
lack
people
of
distrust?
education.
But why did our people just distrust the system completely? Like they don't even try to
Well,
learn.
that's the thing.
They don't even. They're
It's
like,
a lack of education. Because think about it. Some people they probably had a bad experience with credit, so now they're like, oh no, I've seen it, right? Even
Yeah, 100%.
even girls, right? They're like, oh, I don't trust credit. Like I don't trust credit. I don't trust borrowing other people's money. I don't trust like, oh, if I want to get the car, I want to pay it in cash because it's like, oh, it's such a bad. There's such a bad stigma around credit, and then you also have the other people that, oh, they didn't even know that you had to pay the credit cards back.
listen.
You know what I
that's
mean?
very
It's
funny.
crazy.
Yeah, that to me is
that's
like, yeah,
real.
huh?
I've
yeah.
heard that.
It's crazy.
I've heard that.
I've heard that before too, and I'm like, because in the car business, you look up someone's history and you'll be like, listen, the reason why you're not getting these rates, the reason why you're not getting this loan is because this. And they're like, oh, I didn't even know. Oh, I didn't even know. I was like,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
But
Okay.
listen,
You know that meme of the wiener dog that's like this?
but here's the thing: Hispanics and blacks they have this multi-generational thought or idea of let's never use banks' money because it's bad money. Let's save money and then we buy with
You're
that.
not a
money,
real man
right?
if you use someone else's money.
It's
gotta
exactly
get your own
it's
money.
more it's
You pay
more or
for it
less like
cash.
that, right? But then
And
the
take the
reality
depreciation.
is that no man that's really wealthy and big right now in real estate and business
Whatever
or
industry.
in any
Nothing.
industry
Use their own money.
they never use their own money.
That's a simple
Why?
fact.
Because it's easier to borrow $100,000 than it is to save $100,000.
That's a
right?
fact.
Specifically for the poor people, the middle class people. Those people, it's literally impossible to get there to $100,000. So OPM is the way. So when we speak about multi-generational curses, that's one. Right, I think that affects the Hispanics and the blacks. You see people coming from overseas, let's say from Asia, Chinese, Indians, all these ethnicities, right?
Yo,
Within
to
a year,
Indians,
they
to
have
add on
perfect.
what you're saying, most people from other ethnicities that when they come to this country,
They
they
already have
already
credit.
know.
Yeah.
They already
I'm
know what's
telling you,
up.
I'm
Within
They
a
already
year,
know what's
within
up,
a
man.
year,
They
they'll
already
have
know what's up.
a perfect credit score within a
They
year.
already know, bro.
Why? Because
They come prepared.
they come prepared, but they understand that it's easier to grow when
You have cash
you
flow.
have when you use other people's money. Because I can go out right now and let's say I have 100 friends. If I get $10,000 from 100 friends,
Or just $10 from 100
or even
friends.
$10, right? I can stack up a shit ton of money.
Absolutely.
But it's really hard for me to say, oh, let me just
Work and save.
put $1 million in my pocket today. It's very hard.
Especially with inflation, working and saving is dead, bro. It's dead.
Working and saving, it's something that the human race has to forget about.
I
If
think
you
so.
don't invest your money, you're definitely falling behind your finances. Why? Inflation, it's outperforming everything. I mean, salaries, income, it's everything that's related to generating money to pay your bills
It's getting
is
hit.
outperformed by inflation. And that's just bottom line what it is. So when
That's
it comes
terrifying.
to credit, take care of it.
Absolutely.
Right? Learn how to work with other people's money. It can be the bank's money or it can be kneecap breakers, right? Like it can be either or, but it can be your family, and friends.
Bro,
So
even
it comes down to that.
Yup. So look, for those of you that aren't looking to get your kneecaps busted, right, where you genuinely want to do this the right way from day one, even if you're
No fear
in a
loaning.
bad situation right now, right? Look, you're gonna watch, like, even me as a young guy right now, right? I'm 21. I'm currently building my credit, so obviously I'm learning from these guys, and I'm working with them as well. So it's like, for those of you out there, right, funding CEOs, right, you're gonna hear the name a lot more in the future, right? Because
Every
as
Monday.
as we're building, right, we're building this podcast, we're building that company up to. We want to touch as many of you as possible because we understand there is a lack of education. But we also understand those of you that you want to build your dreams or you want to scale your company or whatever it is that you might need the funding for. We got you.
We got you. We really got you.
Funding
We're going
CEOs
to
is
record
the way
it.
to
You're going
go.
to see it.
And listen,
It's going to happen in front of you.
most importantly, there are two things under this video. Number one, there's going to be a link which is going to allow you to pull a PDF that's going to help you understand how you can rebuild your credit. It's completely free. Just go in there, put your email, name, and phone number, and get it for free. There's no upselling or nothing. You're going to get that PDF.
What if they
Second
don't want to
thing is,
read?
if they don't want to read, that's on them. They're going to have fucked up credit until God says, let me help you with that.
That's a
But
revelation.
it's going to be like God is going to come and tell them, hey, go read this. It was meant to be. But essentially, that's number one. Number two is that every Monday we're going to speak about money-making opportunities with other people's money. That's very big. And lastly, but not least, this is a program that is going to be open to absolutely anybody viewing this video.
Come
Why
on.
and how? First of all, you're going to have a money-making opportunity. This
Boom.
is something that you can sell to your friends and family. This is something
Everybody.
that can help you monetize a very good lifestyle that you might seek today. It's not rocket science. It's essentially helping other people reach their financial goals. If you want to win big, we have the opportunity ready for you. You scroll down, read under this video. You're going to find out everything you need to know about the program and about the free giveaway.
You can't let the haters win. You can't let the haters win. And look, whenever they don't like it, just tell them you ain't got to like it because the hood gonna love it.
Make sure you guys like and share this with a friend. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye-bye. Peace.